a story.
To my younger self, what's your story?
To my younger self.
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 To my younger self. What's your story? To my younger self. What's your story?
Well, hello and good morning. Good morning. How is everybody doing? It is wonderful to see you. Today is October 3rd, 2023. Oh my goodness, we have come far. It's the 10th month of the year. Apparently, we've entered the ember months, right? So everybody be careful out there. My name is Zoe Baraka. Of course, the show is To My Younger Self, where we tell stories from the past that will propel us into the future. Welcome to the show of the season. Listen, if you're in the room already, say good morning to me. Say something to me. I want to hear from you. Greet me in your local language. Greet me in your local dialect. Go on any platform and share. Okay, if you're on Facebook, share. If you're on LinkedIn, share. If you're on YouTube, share, and tell your friends something incredible is going to be happening later today. Listen, Zoe is running on very low fumes today. So bear with me if I'm not rattling off as I should be. Good morning, Dr. Vivian from Florida. It is wonderful to see you. Can you say something to me in your local dialect? I want to hear from you. I'm very excited today because we've come full circle to my younger self with this particular guest, and we'll tell you why in a moment. In the meantime, where are you watching us from? Baraka da zuwa to you, Sanunku da zuwa yaya de kakwana lafia. It is wonderful to see you. I just greeted you in Hausa. I hope you are doing well. For those of you who will be watching later, because I know that, these days, a lot of you kind of watch later. I am greeting you in your local dialect also, okay? Yaken ken tuma tuma fuduwela. It is wonderful to see you. Just greeted you in my father tongue, Kasal. It is good to see you. Ansuma to you if you speak Wale or Dagbani. Wonderful to see you. Thank you for joining us. Ndinao to you, Wezo Leke. Are you doing well? I just greeted you in Eve Etiseng Akwaba. I greeted you in a few variations of the Akan language. Sawubona to you if you speak Zulu, our Zulu friends in South Africa, especially those of you who belong to 2911. Thank you for joining us and for watching week in and week out. We are very, very appreciative of you. I know you guys will watch later because of the time difference, but it's good to have you and it's good to have your support. Ibella to you if you speak Moshi. Ibio Kibari to you, Te Oyo Tang. OJ Ko to you if you speak Ga. I greet you. Lale to you if you speak Chadian Arabic. Intiomafet to you. How are you doing today? All the way from the bottom of Africa. We greet you. Of course, salam alaikum to you. E Karo if you speak Yoruba. Nagadef to you if you speak Wolof. We thank you so much for joining us, our Senegalese friends. Jambo, habari gani? Karibu sana, habari ya usubui to you. I just spoke to you in Swahili. Of course, Kotong to you, Amohelang to you if you speak Sesotho. How are you doing? Our friends in Botswana, thank you so much for joining us. Kotoli'i to you, of course. If you speak Fofoldi and you are Fulani, I greet you. All of our Portuguese African friends, bom dia to you. If you speak French, bonjour. Of course, buongiorno to our Italian friends. Buenos dias to all of our Spanish-speaking friends. Maraba, welcome, welcome, welcome. Oh my goodness. Oh my God. EJOD says, indeed, from Morrisville. It is wonderful to see you, EJOD, one of our favorite authors on here on To My Younger Self. Thank you for joining us. Again, if you join us, say something to us in your local dialect so we know you are in the room. All righty, let's go and kind of just introduce to you our guest. I am so excited about this guest. So here's what happened with Tonyi, okay? I don't know. I must have been scrolling down the internet one day about 2 years ago. I don't know. And somebody had made a post about these made in Ghana shoes. And when I saw it, I was like, oh my God, this is made in Ghana. Like these they looked so good. Right. And then from then on, I just made up my mind. I'm going to be telling everyone on To My Younger Self, and you guys can testify to it week in and week out. Every time we tell you, or I tell you, put your money where your heart is, I am always saying, go buy Horseman shoes. Go and patronize Horseman shoes or Horseman products. And I didn't know him. In fact, I didn't even know his name. I didn't even think to check who this person is. I just thought, great work. I've seen so much stuff you're doing. I'm just going to say it. And in comes our Roving storyteller and our Roving stories curator. I don't know how, but we've come full circle, and here is Tonyi today. I'm going to tell you a little bit about Tonyi. Now, I'm so glad that I did not research him I didn't research him when I first discovered him. Reason being, now I have the opportunity to even be way more flabbergasted, okay, about him. Now, Tonyi Senaya is a Ghanaian entrepreneur and founder, and the founder and CEO of Horseman, a leather product manufacturing company. Tonyi established Horseman in 2010 with the desire to create employment for young people with skills in shoemaking, as well as produce high quality, locally made shoes. His company's vision is to build Africa's biggest leather product manufacturing company in terms of employment and brand preference. Come on, can we all just go home now? From very humble beginnings in 2010, I said it again, I did it again. It's not 2010, it's 2010. Horseman has become a household brand and the leader in the footwear manufacturing industry in Ghana. In line with the company's vision of becoming the biggest leather product manufacturer in Africa, Horseman, through partnerships, has presence in Lusaka, Juba. Hey, Uncle Ben, you're in Juba. Are you wearing Horseman? And of course, Freetown. Over the past decade, the company has succeeded in building a rich clientele base that includes high-profile personalities in the showbiz industry, the media, political, academic, and of course, the corporate world, all over Africa, that is. During the delivery of the annual State of the Nation address in February 2014, I was about to do it again, guys. Tonyi's entrepreneurial exploits were mentioned and acknowledged by the president of Ghana at the time, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, who publicly announced that he was wearing a pair of shoes made by Horseman shoes. The president also endorsed Horseman shoes as the manufacturer of high-quality shoes of world-class standards. Tonyi holds a sociology degree from the University of Ghana, where he was president of the Junior Common Room of Mensa Saba Hall. You guys will not believe it, but our computers here autocorrected Saba to Sarah. And also vice president of the Student Representative Council in the 2006 and of course 2007 academic year. Something is going on in my brain today, I promise you. An alumnus of President Obama's Young African Leaders Initiative, Tonyi is a recipient of several awards and recognitions. Now, we've cut them very, very short. We're just going to mention two of them because there's so many of them. But notably, the Chartered Institute of Marketing Ghana President's Special Award 2015, Best Leather Company of the Year 2013, Association of Ghana Industries. Those two are the most notable, and we just kind of cut it up and down, okay? He is an ardent soccer fan and loves reading and meeting people with exciting and challenging ideas. Now, I'm going to bring on our Roving story telling curator, or our Roving stories curator, the absolutely incredible girl with the red hair, Nuerki. And she is kind of going to maybe give us a little prep before we meet Tonyi, okay? Hi, my beautiful. How are you doing?
Hi, hello.
I think I did slightly better today with my 2020-10. I don't know where that came from, but it came from somewhere.
Well, it's understandable, though. I know you have a lot going on, getting ready for the book and all. So
Yes. Oh my God, guys, we wrote a book. I forgot about that. But you know what? We're 10 minutes in, so let's do this first, and we'll tell you about the book later. You take us
okay
away.
then. All right. So today we have Tonyi Senaya, as you said, Horseman, or previously known as Horseman Shoes, but he's now Horseman, and he's gonna tell us a few stories. He's focusing more on, or his stories today are from a different angle. Instead of the usual telling us how his business started, he's going to tell us from a different side. I won't tell you what it is. You hear about it yourself. But of course, we'll also get to hear the Horseman story along the line. So I'm not going to talk too much. Let's just go straight into it. Then we can have a discussion about the stories afterwards. Okay.
All righty then. I guess we're just gonna go into it. Let's go ahead and pull it up, and we will be. I guess let's keep talking. As I'm trying to pull up the video.
Okay.
We'll probably just talk to you guys about the book Abaketo Under and I wrote. Or co-wrote, yes. It's called Letters of Hope to My Younger Self. And what Abba and I did was we just invited a group of people across Ghana, and we said, hey, write a letter to your younger self, a message of hope. And we thought we were going to get maybe, we're lucky, 15 people. People of God, we got more than that. And we got so much work to do. But in the end, we did such an incredible job. And we are offering it back to you to say, look how much the African spirit is thriving. Look how far the African spirit can go if only you would just dream a little bit. And so that's really all the book is about. I think we're ready to load. So I'm going to shut up, and then we'll just go to Tonyi's video.
Okay.
Yes, it is. There we go.
So today, To My Younger Self is coming to you from number 2 Standfast Street in Kokomlemle, which is the home of Horseman Shoes. I am particularly excited about today's stories because this is a young man, or maybe not so young man. You won't be too excited about that. But yeah, this is a young man who has turned his love for shoes into a career, and it's mind-blowing the things like he's doing. We'll take a look at the products later on, but join me, To My Younger Self, in welcoming Tonyi Senaya. Tonyi, you're welcome to Roving Stories and to my younger self. I'm so excited to have you here. Are you nervous?
Well, I have not seen you in a very long while, even though we interact on Facebook and via WhatsApp. So I'm very excited to see you and also to share my story.
Great.
But I don't think you're a coffee drinker. I've
No,
invited you to my coffee.
No, I'm not. But thank you, though. So we're just going to hand over to you. Just tell us your stories.
Today on my younger self, I would like to talk about my dad, his passing, and the life perspective, or the new perspective that his passing and his life brought to me. My dad died 2 years ago on 22nd May 2021. And the last time I spoke to him was on 20th May 2021, a Thursday. I was supposed to see him on 22nd May in Kumasi, which was a Saturday. But for some reason, I knew I wasn't going to be able to attend the event he wanted me to there. So we spoke on phone on 20th May, around 7 p.m. thereabout. I remember exactly where I was when I made the call to him and told him reasons why I can't come to Kumasi on 22nd May, but rather I will come on 5th June. So together we would attend a particular funeral. 22nd May, on the morning of 22nd May, I had a call that he's taken ill and he's been taken to the hospital. 3 p.m. I had a call that he passed, and through that period, it was a very difficult moment. So I had to leave Accra on the 9th of 22nd by bus and go to Kumasi. My family wanted me to come Sunday morning by air, but I told them that the night was going to be too long. I couldn't sleep, so I really had to hit the road. And so I went and saw him at the morgue on Sunday, 11 a.m. And that is one of the, I wouldn't say saddest, but it was a period or a moment where I realized that you have to be humble in life, because he was lying on the bare floor at the morgue amidst people. They didn't care, the attendants didn't care who he was, what his name was. We had to identify him by a number. So there in that moment, I realized that life is very, very, very fleeting. And at a point, look, you don't know the guys that you were sharing the morgue space with, And that period, we have to think that we thought through to move him to a private facility because we thought that he had lived a very dignified life and needed to be taken good care of, even in his death. But Prosper, the guy at the morgue, didn't care, So that week, we started processes of me moving him to a private morgue. When we got to the private morgue, even there, they put him on the floor. And one of my brothers asked the guy, why do you put people on the floor when they come here? And he said, look, even if you are the person who built the morgue, you have to put you on the floor before we find a space for you, And we had to prepare for the 1 week celebration. And for me, the world was moving on. You were grieving, yet things had to happen. Nobody was waiting for you. So mourning, grieving, making arrangements for the 1 week celebrations, people coming in, and that people think that they are coming there to comfort you and to commiserate with you, but sometimes it becomes so overbearing. Certain times you just need a space and time to yourself to be able to grieve. But very early in the morning, you have family people, colleagues coming in to disturb your peace, So yes, mourning and grieving is a very difficult space to be in, and you can only feel it when you're in that space. Generally, my dad was a very good person, and his death came as a shock to many people because that particular morning people saw him, and during the process, because he has lived his life for the family, he was the unifier and the peaceful person in the family. The family showed a lot of love during the funeral, and those stories of where there's a lot of politics, there's a lot of infighting during funerals, we didn't experience it as we the kids of we didn't experience it in our family. And I remember one of the things that our family head used to say during all the meetings that we had, he would remind everyone that we know the person whose funeral we are organizing and whatever that he stood for. So it shouldn't be here that people will exhibit their cantankerous, their cantankerous behaviors. And so yes, we had a very supportive family, and generally people actually showed us love, sometimes you receive donations and gestures from people that you least expect that would reach out to you. And around that period, some of the lessons that I learned was that people are people. We often hear stories of how people are not people are mean and people are bad and all that. But I didn't experience that time I didn't experience the other side of people when my dad passed. People came from all over Ghana for the funeral, and we also had words of comfort, donations from all over the world. So what lessons did I learn from my dad? He was a peaceful man, and he really loved work. So he was really diligent and hardworking. As little as or as young as even 12, 11, I was going to the farms with him. So and these are values that has stayed with me till now. And he was a very honest man. And one thing that I also learned from him was being time conscious. So we had this thing at home. We are Catholics, so he loved attending first mass, and first mass is very early. So anytime he always finishes ahead of my mom, and to bring peace, he would rather walk to church than drive the car, because he says he doesn't want a situation where our mom will say that when you finish, you left me. He has left the car. When you finish, drive the car. When you meet him on the road, you pick him up. So for him, time consciousness was a very big deal. So when we laid him instead at home and we had to take him to church, I told the family here that chairman, my dad never goes to church late, so I beg you, we shouldn't take his body to church late. And the man agreed. Yes, mass was supposed to have started at 9 a.m. By 8:50, we were seated in church. So and in all this, after everything, I sat down and realized that in a way his lifestyle had influenced me, but I had not been deliberate about it. So in his memory and in his honor, I decided to live the values. In that way, I also immortalize it. And in business, one of our values has always been integrity. The moment it dawned on me that I have to have integrity was actually in 2010. I did school business and I did connection. Connection here means I cut corners with one of the boys of the suppliers. So payment delayed from the guys that I supplied the sandals to. And this guy was very impatient. The guy that I cut corners with, who supplied me some materials back door. So he was calling me all the time, and at a point he started coming to my house. My factory was on my dad's premises, so he would come as early as 6 a.m. and I shuffled between Accra and Kumasi. So one morning my dad called me from Kumasi and asked me, the guy who comes here at all hours, what do you have with him? I couldn't explain to him. I felt so ashamed that I couldn't tell my dad what I had done, what kind of relationship I had with the guy. It then dawned on me that if you do something that you cannot talk about to people, then it is not worth doing. So I called my guys in a meeting, my workers, and told them that from then we would not cut corners. We would not ask anybody to supply us goods back door. I also thought about it this way, that my boys are seeing me that I'm cutting corners, and I ask myself, what am I teaching them? Then they may have the inspiration to do it to me too. So I decided to have integrity as a value and not just a fanciful word hanging on the wall, but we try to live by those standards. And one also thing that my dad's life taught me is being a man of faith. Like I said before, we are Catholics, and we have had a lot of periods where Catholics have come under attack from other denominations. A lot of my younger folk that I grew up in the Catholic Church with at the point of tertiary education, they branch into other charismatic churches. And normally we will say that they found Christ there because colors are dull and we are not, we don't live the Christian faith in a boisterous way. But I saw the life of my dad. He isn't the guy who will wear his faith on his sleeve, but he lived it. You know, he was a good guy. He would go to mass, pay his tithe, contribute his developmental levy, and when he died and we were clearing his room, I was amazed to know that he had a lot of books that he was doing his personal devotion, taking notes. So it doesn't really matter where you fellowship, but if you are a man of faith, you are a man of faith. One other lesson from my dad, like I said before, he was a very peaceful man. He's a guy who forgives very easily. And I am yet to come full 360 to pick up that value from him, because I find it very difficult to forgive, especially when I know that it is deliberate, it is intentional to hurt me. But for him, he will tell you, you know. But me sitting here, yes, I can forgive to some extent, but to become charming again with you and move on like nothing happened, I think that I would need a therapy to overcome that weakness, if it is. And yes, hard work. He has a saying that he used to say that hard work never breaks anyone's back, you know. And he's the type of person. I mean, growing up, he would complain that I don't clean his car, I don't iron his clothes, I don't read the compound and all that. Eventually, he will stop complaining, and by the day that you decide to start, you wake up at 6:30. This man had woken up at 5:30 doing it, and when you will not even have the courage to go near him. Now they call it bombastic side eye. If you knew you would do it, you would have done it long time ago. So he was never lazy. When it rained very early in the morning, you either see him up washing his own clothes, because that is how he was brought up. Today, I look back and I think that those were very essential life skills that, you know, he was trying to instill in us, because look, as you grow, you have to learn how to do certain things for yourself, you know. So yes, it's not too late. I am really hardworking, but I'm now picking up the house chores. That is very important. And when I look at him and I look at me now as a dad, what scares me is how I can be that great dad to my kids. You know, he was a silent leader. He never screams, he never shouts, but you feel his presence, that he's around. When you sin, if you do unpleasant things, he doesn't say anything. What he does is he combines all of it and give you one big smacking. So when he calls you, last week you did this, you went to school and came back late, we sent you, didn't go, you broke this, and give you one big punishment. So yes, it's been a very reflective moment, especially after he died. And I look at him and I look at myself, a father of 3 kids, and I always ask, one day if I'm no more, what will be the unsaid lessons my kids will pick from me, you know, just by observing my lifestyle. So it has put me in a position where I think that I have to be deliberate, and being deliberate doesn't mean that you have to be fake. Live a real life that is worthy of emulation by the younger people around you. So how do I dovetail into? So let me see how he helped me set up, and then I talk about my business. And he is not the kind who is judgmental. So after uni, I did my service, and 2010, when I had the idea to start a business, I called him. I was here in Accra, he was in Kumasi. I called him, Daddy, I want to do shoe business. He didn't ask questions. He said, oh, okay. Then like a month later, he called me to tell me that, he has a young boy who is part of the landlords association in the neighborhood who does shoes. So fortunately, I had some pieces of leather. I took it to Kumasi, engaged a guy, and we were in business. I engaged him. No. So fortunately, I got some pieces of leather. I took it to Kumasi to engage the guy. He was good, but it took me a longer time to finish the work. So I asked him why did he take such a long time. Then he told me that he didn't have all the machines. So I asked him to give me a list of machines that we needed if we wanted to produce under one roof. He gave me the list. I went to town with him to do window shopping and ask around. So I came back to discuss with my dad. And fortunately, he was part of the people who gave me seed money to start my business. Yes, so he was very, very, very supportive. On the other hand, my mom and I will be walking around town. We meet his friends, and she's like, "Oh, the venue will be able to pay Juma." Then I'll say, "No, mommy, but you pay Juma, then he would tap on the back. Jaisana crutch need saying. So to it, my mother was not so enthused about the fact that a university graduate wanted to go into shoemaking. But my dad, on the other hand, understood me to the extent that he gave me money, and at a point when I needed to raise money, he actually went to their credit union to take some loan for me, So he's been very, very, very supportive. This is 2010, where we started from his compound, August 2010. The rest is not yet history. We have been in business since 2010. And Horseman, the horse is still running. We started by doing school sandals, and later we added on men's shoes, which have become our flagship product. Tonyi Senaya is synonymous with Horseman shoes. That has been my life for the past 13 years. 2010, we started making school sandals. Then we added shoes. That has become our flagship product. In 2022, we rebranded from Horseman shoes to simply Horseman to make room for other leather products and also fulfill the dream of or the vision of becoming a total leather product manufacturer. So now we do duffel bags, backpacks, man purse. I mean those clutch purses that men put their mobile phones, wallet, and other accoutrements in. Let me leave it there, whichever the contents are. I have often been asked, or people have always wondered why I ventured into shoemaking, and especially my mates from uni, where I was active in student politics. That is when I'm being modest, but actually I was my hall president and later acted as SRC president. The natural progression for student leaders had always been going into full-time politics or national politics after school. So I took a very, 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 very unexpected detour, to the surprise of most of my colleagues and contemporaries from school. I went into shoes when I sat with the shoemaker in La Paz here in Accra. I was doing my national service then. After work, I'll go sit with him and have conversations. And I also asked him a lot of questions about his life. He had lived in Abuchi, like Europe, for a while, where things didn't go well for him. So he said the little man that he bought the machine and came back home to set up a shop. His shop was very, very old, rickety, almost falling apart. But when I was then doing my national service, when my national service was almost over, I ordered a pair. It was a Paul Smith design I picked from the internet, and he made it for me. So my friends were amazed that national service personnel being paid that peanuts then, 125 cedis or so, I could afford that kind of shoe. So that was the beginning. So those who got excited started ordering from me, and then my friend Paul from PwC ordered a pair, took it to work. PwC, they are paid well, first class students. They have money. So when those guys started calling me that, "Oh, Tonyi, I hear say someone where they make made in Ghana shoes," then I realized that, oh, okay, this is actually an opportunity that I can run with, because I knew the shoemaker. Who, well, there were a lot of shoemakers who, for them, had the craft, but they didn't have the business. So they will sit in their small corner wait for orders to come in. And on the other side, I also knew young people who had money and looking for good shoes to buy at their convenience. So I decided to marry the two. So that is 2009. Then 2010, I set up my workshop in Kumasi. Even though I started in Accra, I went to Kumasi because Kumasi is the hub of shoemaking in Ghana, by virtue of the fact that our first president, Kwame Nkrumah, situated or sited or built a shoe factory in Kumasi. So it is the ecosystem. You have huge suppliers and a lot of skilled labor in Kumasi. And besides, that's where I grew up. So I didn't have to pay killer rent. So I started from my dad's compound and brought in guys to build the dream that we are living now. We are not there yet, but we hope that one day I would achieve the vision of being the biggest leather product manufacturer in Africa in terms of employment and brand preference. Employment, because for me, most people in these vocations, so being shoemaking, mechanic, carpentry, it is not a vocation they go into for the love or for the passion. Most of them have the education terminated at a point, say at the junior high level or the senior high level. And here, when you have your education terminated, all that we say is, oh, okay, then go and learn shoemaking, go and learn dressmaking. So it is a means of surviving. So for me, my vision is to provide a fulfilling employment opportunity of choice for people who are gifted or who want to learn the craft of shoemaking. You can be a degree holder and say that, no, I want to design, I want to make shoes, I want to make bags. So by choice. And by brand preference, I am looking for the day that, well, we are working towards the day that we would have Horseman dotted across the cities of Africa. So you see Horseman Nairobi, Horseman Durban, Horseman Joburg, Cape Town, Lagos, our neighbors in Nigeria. So that is the dream. And it's been difficult. 13 years of hard work, blood, and sweat and tears. Yes, I used to cry. The last time I cried about my work was 5th September
2023?
No, 2018. I remember because
I remember.
Because 5th was a day after my birthday, and they needed to deliver some huge orders. I called them. The guy working on the order wasn't even at work. Someone had died in his family, and he was playing it with your opinion, so he slept and he didn't care. So I was so frustrated. I said, let me give because. And I used to tell them that one day I'll pick up my bag, go to America, and not come back again. So yes, human resource. Human resource has been one of the biggest challenges, and for me and for the entire industry. And our colleagues who are into fashion now import skilled labor from neighboring Cote d'Ivoire, Benin, Togo. It's not that we don't have skilled labor here, we do, but the attitude of the Ghanaian worker is a very big challenge. But we hope that it will be well done, or else in the next 5 to 10 years, we may not have skilled labor in all the various sectors, So yes, the horse is still running, and we hope that we will finish this race. We've built a lot of stamina and a lot of determination. So Horseman, we say for places going people. We know we'll go places.
If you had to say something to your younger self, what would it be?
If I had to say something to my younger self, what it would be? For starters, I think that I had a very nice and memorable childhood. Today, I compare the childhood I had to that of my kids, and like the kids today, I always ask, when they grew, what memories would they have? Going out to play football with my friends and coming back home late. We go, kusi, how do you say kusi in English?
Rat.
Yes, we go rat hunting. I mean, you won't believe it. You go to people's farm, set fire and put it in holes, and by the time you realize you are burning down someone's farm, so we have to run. We sit on bicycle, go down a slopey road.
No, wait, just to go. So you hunt the rat for what? What do you use it for when you catch it?
Yes, to come and make pepper soup.
Oh, you actually cook it?
Yeah, to come and eat, to make delicacy, delicacy out of their meat, you know. So for us, it was more of the adventure, you know. So today's kids, you take them to water parks, they spend half of their life on tablets. So I always ask, what memories would they have when they grow? Yeah. So if to my younger self, what would I tell my younger self? Well, I don't think that I will say much because I have had a very memorable childhood. Maybe I would have said read, but I think I read fairly well. But I meet my colleagues around when we came to the university. People knew about the Gulf War. When they were discussing the Gulf War, I thought like the sports golf.
No.
I know that apparently it was the Saddam Hussein, the Iraqi war. And then they were talking about the sports golf war. You know, so well, to explore more, because I have come to love exploration, but I'm still young, but I wish that I would have started exploring, daring, and taking bigger risk. Yes, that is it. I should have dared to take bigger risk much younger. So yes, because now one of my mantras, and I told young people, is do not be afraid to fail. But I discovered this not too long ago. But I wish in my late or even early 20s there were opportunities that came my way, but I thought that I wasn't ready. I was too young. I had just finished uni. Let me focus. Let me take a step at a time. But hey, just take the risk. If you fail, and so what, you know. So to my younger self, I would have been more daring and more of a big risk taker.
Well, Tonyi, thank you so much. And I just wanted to add on to the last part about the advice to your younger self. You'd have explored more. And so, guys, we went for a funeral, all dressed in, and it was an Ashanti funeral. So we were dressed in the usual. Okay, he was wearing the black shirts and then black tunic and black trousers and then Horseman slippers, and I had the black cloth they call breezy.
Yes.
And then the red, or was it the other way around? No, the red cloth tied around here, and then the black over. And we decided to just take a chance and hike up a mountain that people go to for prayer. You know, Christians have this belief that like you have to isolate yourself for God to hear you. So there's this very popular mountain in Ashanti region called Atria Mountain. So people go all the way up there to pray. So during a break from the funeral, that was between the funeral service and then the actual funeral festivities, we decided to just explore. We drove for a few minutes and realized we were close to Atria Mountain. So we parked the car and decided to go up, totally unprepared, but we're exploring. I mean, like Tonyi said, hey, take a chance. If you fail, we fail. Big deal. So what? I mean, at the time, we didn't have such wisdom. But we decided to take the chance anyway. So in our slippers and funeral attire on a very hot day with no shade whatsoever, we started going up this mountain that had the stairs had been hewn out of the mountain, so they were uneven, they were rocky, and we kept going. We were out of breath in no time. And then we asked a couple of boys, how far out are we? And he said, oh, just a few more minutes, you'll be there. Like, no, these boys, when somebody in a village tells you it's just here, don't believe it. It's going to take you much, much longer. We tried a bit and decided, no, this is not for us. Today is not the day.
Yes, and we took pictures.
And we decided to take pictures instead. What did you say? Immortalize the moment or memorialize the moment. We just took pictures. Yes, we also tried to go up Atria Mountains. And recently I was looking back at that, at those pictures. And I realized, like, it took some kind of, somebody would say, foolish courage, perhaps, to have tried to do that. I mean, most people went for a funeral, so we have just stayed for the funeral. But we tried to just see what else can be experienced in this space. And that's something most of us do not take advantage of. When you go to a place for this, it is just that. We don't try to get anything else from the experience. But there's always so much to learn from around you. There's always so much more to experience, and that's something we want to encourage our listeners, and our what should I call them, watchers, our viewers, yes, to do. Take advantage of life each day. Experience. There's so much more to it than you see, and just go all out.
And in the end, all that we will have is our memories.
Yep.
A time will come you may not be able to drive the big houses that we are dreaming of, that we are building. You will just be stuck in a small corner, but we have to live on our memories. So while we can, let's create more memories.
So Tonyi, thank you so much. This has been a great time, and we can only wish Horseman. I remember in the introduction I said Horseman shoes, but now I know that you've expanded your portfolio and you go more, or you go beyond shoes. So we wish Horseman the very, very best, and we look forward to seeing you in our African cities all over.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. So thank you.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you.
Oh my good God. I love this guy. I absolutely, incredibly adore this guy. I mean, he came at us with some of the most hard-hitting realities of life that you don't necessarily even think about when you don't live in certain spaces. One of the things he said was not even in a private morgue. They'll still put you on the floor. You don't get a private slab because you were in a private morgue. You don't get a private, I don't know how to say it.
You don't get special treatment. No.
There is no special treatment. King, pauper, farmer, president, whatever, everybody gets the floor, no matter what your name is or was. It is the most sombering, most humbling thought to kind of just think about, Nuerki. I don't know whether to feel sad even, because suddenly it makes you wonder, like, all of the, lack of a better word, pomposity that we carry around, like, do you know who I am? I am all that and I'm all this. It means nothing in death. And yes, death is the leveler, Jane. You're absolutely right. Because he even remembers the guy's name. The guy's name is Prosper. It stuck with him, like Prosper. And he's like, and Prosper didn't care. Like, he said, even if you built the morgue,
we'll still put you on the floor.
We'll still put you on the floor.
I mean, that's what we do here. Like, so it's very reflective for all of us when you think about it. You have to, you just can't help but try to stay humble. I mean, it's hard sometimes. You have to keep checking yourself, because I mean, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter what your name is.
Yes,
nothing
nobody
matters.
cares. Nobody cares. Wow.
I mean, your family will care. They'll make a fuss, but there's not much they can do.
There's not much they can do, and it sounds to me as if Tonyi, they had the means and the resources to even move him to a private morgue.
And so, even there,
so if there was a way to get him a private slab, and I'm using the slab word very tentatively, because I think over here that's what they do. They have like little freezers that they put people in, and it's like a little slab that they put you on and push you back in. So if they had the ability to do that, they could have, but nobody. It didn't matter. Yeah, this is the private morgue, but you still get the floor until we can make space for you, and that's very humbling. And it's so telling in the way now. And again, I don't know Tonyi at all, but even in the way he carries himself, you kind of can tell that this has been a very pivotal moment in his life where he's suddenly realizing I can be the biggest producer of whatever you want in the world. If I don't have my humanity by me,
Yep. And I'm
after
sure
I'm gone,
people
yeah,
who know him, I know him personally, so I see the change.
wow,
And until he told me this story, I didn't realize this is what he had been trying to live the values. But you see the change. I mean, he's still a hard worker, but certain things about him have changed. He's become more sensitive, shows more empathy. He's more
wow,
patient about some things, and like it's great to know what's informed that change. I mean, it's unfortunate it was under sad
sad
circumstances, but
circumstances. Yeah,
ultimately it's working out for his good and our good as well, because then
right.
his business is growing out of it and we benefit greatly from it.
Right.
So
Wow. You know, it's so interesting. Adversity always, if you listen very carefully to adversity, it would always push you towards purpose, whether you know it or not. Um, Actually, we're here onto my younger self because of adversity, right? I had
yes.
to lose my mom for me to wake up one day and go, oh, I am totally a different person. I am not the thing that people have always been telling me I am. This is who I am. And I had to choose that based on the adversity I went through because I'd lost my mom. And I don't know if Tonyi is here.
Yes.
I'm
Yes.
very, very excited. And if he's here, I think we're going to go ahead and bring him on.
Yeah.
And Tonyi, we're pulling you out of the green room. Let's see. Oh my goodness. This is super exciting. I think you're muted. Can you unmute yourself for me? You are most welcome, sir. You are
He's in the pink October mood already.
Are you already in a pink October mood?
Yes, we are supporting the cause.
Well, there are other ways you can support the course aside from wearing the shirt, but I won't tell you that live. We're going to tell you that in private. But you are welcome to the show. Can I tell you how much I've admired you the whole time? It's been, again, I don't remember where I saw the picture, but I knew that this was something. I wish there was a way. We have these cue cards here, and I just want to show you. I'm totally fangirling right now, but go get you yourself a show, and then you can fangirl when you want. But it's right there on the cue cards. Oh God, the lights here are too much. You would see Horseman shoes at the right there.
I see.
We would tell people. We would tell people. That's on our
Thank
cue
you so
card
much,
one.
Zoe.
Actually, we would say, go and do this, buy this, patronize this person. Always we say Horseman shoes. I don't know you. So I'm so happy to meet you finally. And what an incredible young man you are.
Thank you.
Wow. I have so many questions for you. One of the things, yes, supporting the course. He is by wearing that pink shirt and then some other things. Anyway, we won't go there yet. But I wrote down a question, Tonyi, for you. One of the powerful things you said was that the world had moved on. And that hit me like a ton of bricks. Because why can't they know that you just lost a father?
Yep.
Why can't they tell that you're in a space of pain? How in the world are they eating and drinking and smiling and waking up in the morning? They have the audacity to knock on your door, but you're grieving. That hit me so hard. And I just wanted you to talk to me a little bit about that, because I felt a little bit about that way. And I wanted us to discuss that. You know, in Ghana, people just kind of walk up to you. It doesn't matter. They can knock on your door at 7 a.m. in the morning. You are the grieved one. So they've called Yabecha. We're coming to greet you.
Yeah.
You know. So talk to me a little bit about that, exactly how you are feeling. This is so much part of your story that you probably couldn't voice, right?
No, I couldn't talk about it. You have to just put everything in, and it was a first time experience, you know. Well, and someone would say that your father can't die twice, so of course everybody will go through it once or twice, once
Mm,
once living. So for me, it started on the Monday when my brother designed the 1 week poster and
mm,
on the family platform for approval. Then it really dawned on me that wow, the guy is really gone. You know, so that dawn, I really broke down. And all the calls that came very early in the morning caught me crying that I couldn't believe it. Then at around 10 a.m., we have to move out to go and talk logistics, to go and plan for the 1 week in that moment of pain. You know, so yes, the world is moving on. Some people are laughing, smiling, and in the course of the week, I will still have customers sending me text message of their request and orders. So like,
mm.
should I tell them to get the hell out because I have lost my dad? I control myself and forward it to my shop. You know, then
Wow.
customers will come back with their complaints, and I have ordered a shoe long time ago. Da 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 da. Da. Nobody's responding to my messages. So yes, it dawned on me that people they don't care, or maybe they didn't know, but you have to you have to live with the pain and still do what you have to do, you know, to get things done. And I being the first son, there was a lot of responsibility on me, you know, and everybody wanted a piece of your attention,
Mm.
family, friends, and yeah, so it was a lot. It was a lot.
No time to grieve at
Nope,
all.
nope,
No time
nope,
to
nope,
grieve.
nope, nope, nope,
And I
nope,
don't
nope.
know if that's a good thing or not, because I had the exact opposite where because I lived here at the time, everybody left me alone. And for the most part, you if you didn't have fortitude of mind, you literally were
You
by
slip
yourself.
into, yep, that's true.
So I
So
don't know if there's a median there.
I think that there should be a balance, you know.
Mm,
So for instance, my wife is in the US. She would always want to be on the phone with me, but at times I also wanted to be alone. So
mm,
at a point I think she took offense when I told her that I don't want to talk now. She didn't understand it. So it's always the balance. Now I am in the position where when it happens to a friend, I can relate to them better. So when
mm.
I reach out to them and I read the room and I say, okay, this guy needs to be left alone, I understand. Even if you tell me in the face that, Chief, I don't want to talk to you, no hard feelings because I have been in that position before. You know, so I also think that it's easier, or you may think that you are being there if you don't really understand the situation, the circumstances. So it's actually a very difficult space to be for you and the people on the other side who are trying to provide comfort. To them, they are doing the best that they can to give you that comfort and
Mm,
solace. But to
mm.
you, you also need some space and
To just
quiet
feel
moment.
pain. Yeah,
Yeah, exactly.
be
So
in
for
there.
me, it was back to back, very early in the morning. People are in the house, they are calling you. But yeah, we are back. We are what? Where
Mm,
are we? As late family members are also calling you for update of how the day went. Vendors are disappointing you. Um, other people are not pulling their weight, so
mm,
there was no time. So if people who are normally in the center stage feel the heat or feel the moment after the whole show is done, when everybody has left, then it dawns on them that wow, this is what really, this is
happened.
what
Yeah.
yeah, and this is what I'm dealing with.
Man, we can go on and on and on about this particular topic. It's so close to my heart. And when you started your stories like that, I said, finally, a man who wants to talk about this.
Yeah,
Because let's face it, there's a lot of men who do not want to talk about this. They will literally just say, yeah, I lost my dad. And then just say, and to his memory, I'll tell this other story, but not the story of how they actually were trying to navigate the pain. And the boldness with which you even said it, you just didn't want people around. They just kept coming anyway. So I want to say thank you for that. You know, as we were watching the video that Nuerki sent, and you said Horseman, I had the most brilliant idea for an advert that I'm going to sell to you. In fact, no, I'm just going to give it to you for free. And if you can shoot it, you can have it. Because thinking about horsemen in Nigeria, horsemen in Kenya, horsemen in Senegal, horsemen in commercials in French, in Wolof, in all kinds of different languages. Horsemen when you're flying, horsemen when you're driving, horsemen when you're riding on a horse, horsemen when you're on a motorbike. Thinking about that gave me so much joy. So much joy. And I just had this idea to find or get somebody and start riding on a horse. But honestly, we don't actually see the horse. We only just see the shoe.
The shoe.
Okay?
Yeah, that's true.
The horseman's shoe, right? And he gets on a horse, but then he gets off the horse and he's in a car, right? That is driving him to an airport. He's in a different shoe. And then he has his leather bag and luggages and he's in a plane, right? What? And then we see him zipping. He's zipping through African countries. So we see Lusaka and we see Juba and we see this, and then he's in a desert. What do you wear in the vast expanse between Ghana and Burkina Faso? That's Sahara right there. What do you wear to be in a place like that? Right. So I mean, incredible
Thank
things.
you. I love it. I love it.
I know, right?
When you do the women one, I will be the woman wearing the shoe.
Of course, easy. Young country ones. I get it.
I know. I was just like, I need Tonyi here so I can just shop it to him. Like, this is for you, no charge. Just go and run with it. Because I feel like this would go far. Yeah. I am so enamored by you, Tonyi. I am so thankful that you did this. One of the last questions I wanted to ask you was, what prompted you to sit by the shoemaker? Were you going on lunch and eating by him? Was there a Wacheselas What was there?
His shop was just by the house I lived in. So anytime I close from work, I'll go to him. Just have conversations. I am one guy who likes to ask a lot of questions. You know. So once you are receptive and you give me that chance. So yes, I just he was a very old man. I think at that time, even at the age of my dad, he's not very old.
Wow.
So
yeah. Is he still alive?
Yes, he is. And along the line, I got some consultancy job. An NGO approached me that they wanted to build a training school for a community in the central region. He was the guy that I gave the project to.
Oh my God.
Oh yes, just to say thank you, because he cannot do the hard work again. So I just removed myself and told him, Master, the negotiation, everything, I don't want anything from it. Just tell them how much you will take. Yeah.
Hopefully he took it and he ran with it.
Oh yeah, he did it. I visited the project site a few times. Yes.
Wow. Oh, okay. So I'm sorry. I'm so just excited. But so you just wanted to ask him questions. And so how was this relationship? Was it like an annoying young man and an old man type relationship? Were there times he would get upset with you?
Because not at all. Because whilst I was talking to him, asking him questions, he would also ask me to pick the hammer for him. Can you glue this part for me? And it wasn't even much about the shoe making. It was about his life in general. He lived in Switzerland. He went to Switzerland, Cote d'Ivoire to Switzerland before coming back to Ghana. And so he would tell me the tales of Abuchi, and how things didn't go well for him. And the fact that the youth of today, we don't like to work, we don't like hard work and all that. So it was those kind of conversations. So occasionally I'll pull up a design from the internet and ask him, Master, can you do this? He said, really, it's very easy for me to do it. Wow. Then one day I saw one design that I really liked, and I asked him to do it for me. And that was the shoe that ushered me into this journey. So yeah, he was a very nice person. And I even had a special arrangement with him. When I buy the shoes from him, I started by ordering 4 or 5. So I'll pay like 2, go and sell. come and pay him his balance because of the relationship I had with him.
Oh my, that,
Yes, that is how I
wow.
yep.
So did you learn the shoe craft from him, or you
Yes.
just took the model and
I
then
I I
started
I I learned
studying?
I learned the basics, the rudiments to understand how it works. Yeah,
Mhm.
but I did not learn it to perfect in it. So when people ask me that, I ask them if have you've ever seen Kwame Despite, the owner of Peace FM, hosting the morning show or doing drive time.
Yo, shade. That is what they call shade. That is super so cool.
Yeah.
Wow.
So yes. Yeah.
Oh my God. But see, that's fortitude, because how many young men walked past him and didn't
Mhm.
give him the time of day? How many young men and women sat by him and probably just disrespected him? Why? Because he was a shoemaker. He was just by the roadside, or he just had a little shop. They just didn't care, you know? So I guess what I'm trying to say is it took a certain something
Mhm.
for you to realize, no, this can be blown up bigger, because even he didn't see it.
Oh yes. Later he came telling me how proud he was,
Oh, wow.
and I think he said the highlight of all his journey. I am one of the highest points in his journey
Come
because
on.
yes, I have done him proud. That was what I said. What I say? That's what he said.
Oh,
I have
wow.
really done him proud. Yes,
Brought glory to him.
yes.
Well, that's a very literal translation, because my tree is very terrible.
Oh, Queen of Languages, pa.
No, not. Hey, I like that title. I think I'm gonna take it, but I'm not. Wow. Oh, that is incredible, Tonyi. Now, tell me, where is your name from? I feel like I can talk to you for hours. Where is your name from? I am so curious, because you grew up in Kumasi, but it
Mhm.
doesn't sound like a very Kumasi name.
No. So I am an ewe. I am an Ewe. My dad is from Amfuenga in the Volta region, and
Wow.
yes, and my mom is an Achem from Abumusu,
Mm,
and I
mm.
grew up in Kumasi, so I am very Ghanaian.
You are well-rounded. The only
Yeah.
thing you need left is to find a northern connection, and you've got all four. That
Yes.
we either have to take you to, I don't know, Tamale, Bolga, somewhere, and
But,
just say you did something, then we'll just all round you.
but
You
so
know,
where are you from?
I'm from the north.
North as in North Tamale, North
Yes, I'm from
Savannah,
Boca Central, actually.
Boko Central. Oh, okay,
Upper
okay.
East, yeah.
Upper
So
East,
not.
yes.
Mhm.
I know Upper East through Bolga Navrongo Paga.
Mhm. Mm.
Yeah, so
Oh,
I've not
that's true.
gone to Boko yet.
Ah, well, we'll take you there now then. So, talking to someone like you, I always have this dream of having because this comes to you by instinct. It's not something that's taught in a classroom. Because when I listened to your story, looking at the trajectory of where you were going, you should have been a politician. You probably should be a flag bearer somewhere by now. We're not going to mention names.
So Zoe,
Nuerki,
I need to chip in here. He actually has a nickname. That Chimampeni.
Oh, that's where that's from. Okay. That's what I'm saying, right? We're not going to mention names or affiliations. When I look at people like you, I'm thinking all the brain drain. And I mean, it's very cheeky coming from someone like me who's sitting in a brochure and talking like this. But I envision a room of people like you. And of course, Nuerki, I have to mention Ibrahim Mahama in this equation. Ibrahim Mahama and Irabnes and the Avonzigates.
yep.
And even, no, let me scratch the word even. And Nuerki herself sitting here. I envision Africans, we talk too much, I feel like. But if we could just have an incubator room where all of you guys are literally brain draining your brains into other young people very intentionally, very, very properly, and not just a bunch of theories of let's go and have a seminar here and pay 30 Ghana cedis to do it, but literally an incubator series. You inspire me, basically. That's what I'm trying to say, because I've just thrown ideas at you in the last 15 minutes, because it just comes easy with people like you. Tonyi, I hope I'm saying your name right, because
It's Tonyi.
Tonyi, okay.
Tonyi, yeah.
I just wanted to say it again. I'm very enamored by you. I want to thank you for coming on the show and also for making time to just kind of tell stories and have a conversation with us. I look forward to meeting you personally because I want some Horseman products too. I don't know what.
Sure.
Maybe I'll ask you for a belt. I like belts. I don't know.
We will discuss further backstage and
That's
see
what I'm saying, you know.
what we can do together.
I know, but absolutely. Our producer just walked in. Good morning, La Famille. I miss being on here live, but my commute won't let me be great. Our producer lives in Canada, and her commute has been brutal the last couple of months. So we miss you, producer, madam. We thank you. But today, I feel like if you were here live, you would have said, just like every time we have a good show, she says, this guest must come back again. I think Tonyi is a comebacker.
Well,
you are a comebacker. Yes.
Zoe, thank you so much for this program, and thank you to Audrey Beta, for asking me to do this. When she sent me the link, it took me a while to look at them, and I must say that I really admire your energy. You know,
thank you.
I was like, hey, this girl, does she ever get sad? Does she ever get moody? Always.
I've got stories for days.
You know, so yes, I think your energy and vibe is very infectious.
Thank you so much. Yes, that part I think we give. That part we give to God first, and also to passion. Because I'm not gonna lie, Tonyi, and my producer would tell you, and some of my friends on here would tell you, there's been times when I've literally cried, and then 10 minutes later I'm on the show. And then, so my sisters sometimes say, I think you're bipolar, Zoe. There's something like you were just crying, like tears with snot. And all of a sudden, you're like, good morning, everybody. It's so good to see you. And I'm like, I have passion for this. So I'm going to clean my face and do this. And I'll go back, clean off my face, and then cry again. So that's to answer your question. Yes, I cry a lot.
Yeah. But then you are good at what you do. We thank you. And also thank you for bringing Nuerki to my way, because Nuerki and I, over a decade. Yeah. So we've been friends. We have had all sorts of relationships. A model for me, a business promoter, a shrink, and all that. Yes, but I've not seen her in a very long while. She's busy. She's busy traveling across Ghana. So I was very happy to see her, and I think the interview, the conversation turned out good. I was a bit apprehensive. I didn't know how it would turn out, but I enjoyed it. So
you did well.
The lady with the red hair, or is it a girl? Yeah.
The girl with the red hair.
Very soon she'll be the woman with the red hair, because
oh God.
Audrey, thank you so much. Thank you so much.
I love
really
this
enjoyed
conversation.
it.
I absolutely do. Guys, this has been so much fun. I just want to appreciate all of you, especially those of you who have been watching. Now, To My Younger Self is experiencing a little bit of a lag because of COVID. COVID is now a non-entity. And so because of that, our live watchers have reduced by a very significant amount. The one thing I am very positive about, though, is everybody still watches after. Somehow people make time. And so during the week, we will see the numbers shoot up. You know, we will start off with maybe 100 views, and then by day one, there's 1,000 views, and you're like, where is everybody coming from? So I want to take time out to thank each and every one of you who, no matter what's going on in your life, every week you find time. Sometimes it's on a Sunday and people are still watching. You see it in the analytics, and we thank you. Thank you so much for taking time to just be here. It tells you that we like to hear each other. As Africans, we like to hear each other tell stories. If we're going to build Africa, we must tell our stories. We have to provide avenues to tell these stories, because I guarantee you, a year from now, 2 years from now, some young person would watch this video and say, I want to be like Tonyi. That's what we want to see. And why? Because they heard his story told in a different way. That being said, like we're always doing on here, guys, aside from a few people who send us monthly donations, and of course, Mr. EKD, who is a big supporter of ours, he literally sends us support. I mean, cash money. We don't take advertisement money from anybody. So when you hear us mention these people, it's because we love them genuinely. It's not because we're making money off of them. We want to put it out there. That's the only way Africans will move forward. If we do it because we want to do it, not because somebody is going to pay us. And that being said, music for your quality feet. I know Uncle Fisho is enjoying himself somewhere in Jamaica right now, but every Sunday he shows up, the most international Ghanaian DJ ever you will ever meet. And he just brings people all around the world, and they just boogie down on Zoom, on YouTube, on Facebook. Okay, and they just chill and tell stories. I think last time he had Uncle Ben Bracken, who is also set to be on To My Younger Self very, very soon. We'll see, fingers crossed. Of course, we're Ghana by Irabna and her team, Core Designs by Ruby Boa, M. Sims by Mabel Simpson, Ryle by Design. She's a Kenyan designer living out of Nyack, New York. Abonzige Bridal by our own Abonzige Augustina. Of course, Humanity Chats by Margie March. She goes live every Thursday at 7:30 p.m. EST. Of course, we have Keys and Credo by Nana Sapo. And here we go. I think I'm going to change that now. Not just Horseman shoes, but just Horseman. Oh, I love that. Horseman, Now I Know by Tonyi Senaya. Of course, Kelm Beats and Caveman Watches. Of course, we want you to also patronize Book Nook by Nanare Damwa and Kofi Akpati, the publishers. Kunda Kids coming out of Nigeria and Uganda. And of course, to our monthly donors, Auntie Araba, Jane Fiorito. Thank you. We saw your deposit, Auntie Jane. We really, really appreciate you. Rose Machayo, Auntie B of Exceptional Care. And of course, to our biggest encourager and donor himself, Mr. Emmanuel Deku. We want to say thank you, coming out of North Carolina and Opulence Real Estate Group. All right, guys, the show is, let's see, you may have missed it, but why the name Horseman?
Right. Why the name Horseman? So I was listening to a preacher, Eastwood Anaba.
Ooh.
Yes. And then he was preaching from the Bible verse, Jeremiah 12:5. If you contend with the foot of horses and you get tired, you get weary, how can you contend with if you contend with the foot of men and you get tired, how can you contend with the foot of horses? So he asked a very simple question, how today's prophets will relate to the prophets of old, the Jeremiahs, Isaiahs. So I asked, okay, if the prophets of today are looking up to the Isaiahs, if I ask a young guy, who do they look up to? They will mention people who have achieved in society. So those people who have achieved are the horsemen. And how would they become like them? They will need to run. They will need to build stamina. They will need a lot of strength, and they have to finish their race like horses. So for the race of life, you need horseman shoes to complete it. So horseman.
Oh my God.
Yes. So life is one big battle, and even horses are built for battle. So let's go with horseman shoes. Let's go places, conquer our fears, and achieve our dreams.
Oh my God. Oh my God, exactly. Preach. That just blew me out of the water. And Ijodi, thank you so much. Yes, she says, I love it. Thank you for breaking it down. And I'm gonna just beg you again to just say that Bible verse one more time.
Jeremiah 12:5.
Jeremiah 12:5.
12:5. Yeah.
If somebody would be so kind as to put that in the comment section, Kemi, I think I nominate you. Just put Jeremiah 12:5 in the comment section for me. My goodness, look what the Bible can do. Look what God can do. The human brain. And so if we're gonna go far, we need Horseman shoes. Period.
Yep.
But now I think we just need Horseman products, because I think I'm gonna need a purse. I'm gonna need my lipstick holder. I'm gonna need my bombele. I'm gonna need all of that in leather. You know what I mean?
We got you.
You know, I walked into the shop to do the story, and I left with a pair of house slippers. Really, really gorgeous.
Oh my
So I
God.
come here for shoes, but why not?
I love it. Guys, it has been an absolute pleasure. Tonyi, thank you. Tonyi,
you.
I have to say this right. I have to say it right. What does Tonyi mean?
My dad tells me first male born.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
So if it is pronounced Tonye, it's different. That is mine, Tonye. But mine is Tonyi, first male born.
Tonyi.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you see just how culturally adept we are in Africa? I love everything about Africa. I love everything about Ghana. And right now, in this moment, I absolutely, incredibly love everything about Horseman. Please, please put your money where your heart is. So, hey, if you need some shoes, those of you who are trying to go for interviews, or what have you, impress a girl, because let me tell you, our fathers tell us, okay, if you meet a guy and his shoes are not good, don't go on a date with him. So get you some.
I think that I will take this copy.
Get you some Horsemen, and then you can go on a good date with a proper girl. Okay, if you're looking for a wayside chick, you can buy any shoes you want, but to get a proper girl with swag and intelligence and gumption, you need Horsemen. You know what I mean? All right, guys.
Gumption is a very tete English that I have not heard in a long while. Gumption. Use your gumption.
Man, I'm enjoying this conversation so much. We could go on and on and on, but we have to go. And, people are laughing in the room. I know, guys, we do have to go. But listen, do us a favor. Share, share, share. Tell people today was more than they would expect, right? And so they should come and watch the show. So much to take away from. And put your money where your heart is. Again, my name is Zoe Baraka. I think next week we have La Missy on the show. She is one of Ghana's incredibly beautiful pop musicians, and she's going to be here with us. She's going to share some stories, and of course, you know how we always do. We might actually get to boogie down with her, okay? And so just join us again next week exactly at the same time. Again, my name is Zoe Baraka. I've been in the studio with the girl with the red hair, the absolutely gorgeous concierge of everything Ghana, Nuerki, and of course, the man himself, the horseman himself, Tonyi Senaya. We'll see you next week, guys. Have a wonderful, wonderful week. Bye.
So Timbuktu, Ghana, Mali, Sumanguru, you know what you're showing. So Timbuktu, Ghana, Mali, Sumanguru, you know what you're shown. Manchester, you know Sumanguru, you know what you're shown.